Cześć kochani, it's Basia and welcome to my kitchen. Kochani, today we are going back a little bit to a topic that it's actually the closest to my heart, and I will be talking about fermented foods. I know on my channel I have quite a few different recipes that I encourage you to go and maybe look at them. But today, since the summer is right around the corner where I live, and we all will be looking for some delicious and refreshing drinks, I thought I will share with you something that I really enjoy and my family enjoy, and we've been really making for many years. And I'm talking about water kefir. Water kefir, I think that's the proper pronunciation. So anyways, it's a wonderful probiotic rich drink that it's amazing for anyone, and whether you are someone like me who always is looking for more ways of adding healthy foods, gut friendly foods and drink to your daily diet. I don't like the word diet, but to your daily living, like to your lifestyle. Or maybe you are someone who is addicted to sodas and just learn about how bad they are to our health and is looking for some tasty and healthy alternatives, then this is definitely for you. So I'm just going to have a little sip of this deliciousness from the batch that I made before. And let's just get started. I will show you this entire process right from the beginning. So in order to show you the entire process of making water kefir from the beginning to the end, I got myself completely new packet of the water kefir grains, because when you will be making this for the first time, most likely that's what you will be working with. Of course, there is a chance that you can get the rehydrated grains from someone who is currently making their kefir, but most people probably start with the dry grains that they usually buy either online or in some health food stores. So the dehydration process is very easy, and there are different ways of doing this. You probably might find different ways also on the internet. Some would use water with dissolved sugar, some water with some juice. I will show you how I do that with a lemon juice. The reason why I'm doing this, because when I first started making water kefir, that was the way suggested by the company that I got my grains from. So I did it the first time, and since then I have the same grains for such a long time, and I'm very happy with it. So what we have, this is 2 cups, 500 milliliters of water. You can preferably filtered water, clean water, pure water. If you don't have filter and you just use tap water and there is a possibility that you have chlorine in it, I would suggest to boil the water and let it completely cool down. You can also leave the water in the container, open container like this, for about 24 hours to allow the chlorine to evaporate. But whenever possible, please use like a good spring water or filtered water. So 500 ml of water, and now I'm going to get about a tablespoon of lemon juice. And the lemon juice is to make the grains apparently more robust. 1 tablespoon of the freshly squeezed lemon juice, and I'm adding the entire packet of my dry kefir, water kefir grains, and this is about a tablespoon, I would say. And now I'm going to leave it on my kitchen counter for about 3 hours. After the 3 hours, we will be ready to start making our water kefir. Okay, so it's been 3 hours, give and take, and we are ready to continue with our process. And I got myself a bowl and a sifter. I love the sifter. It has a little bit story, because this is a sifter that my mom used over 20 years ago to make her own water kefir, and my mom is no longer here with us, so this is very sentimental for me. So I'm going to strain our grains, And I will try to have the close-up to show you how nice and plump they are. I hope you can see. Completely different texture, completely different color, and they are more like a jello, a little kind of like a gristle. I don't know how to explain it better. So this is going to be enough for us to make 2 liters of water kefir. And as you will make your kefir later on, and you will start to understand the process, and you will hopefully play with the proportions and with the flavors, then you will feel a little more comfortable. However, for now, since I'm assuming it's your first time, let's keep it very simple. So here I have a jar with 2 liters, 4 cups of filtered water, and I'm going to add to it half a cup of cane sugar. I have organic cane sugar that it's not bleached. It still has some minerals in it, and this is important because the grains, they will be feeding on the sugar, and also they will utilize all the nutrients that come in sugar that has been not processed. I know that you could also make it with a white sugar, but I generally don't use this kind of sugar at home at all, so I never even tried to make my kefir with it. So I'm going to give it very good stir for the sugar to dissolve, and now the grains. And they all go right directly into our jar. And this is all for our second step. At this point, you could add flavoring into some fruits or herbs and stuff. I found it better for me to add it for the second fermentation, because I feel like the flavors are a little stronger, and also I am able to get a little bit more fuzziness, like those bubbles, if I do second fermentation. However, if you don't care about the bubbles, you could as well add it at the first time. Now I'm going to cover it with my cloth and leave it on the kitchen counter for somewhere between 24 and 48 hours. The time will depend on the temperature that you have in your house. So if it's very, very warm, it may be already nice and tangy after 24 hours. If it's cooler, then you need a little more time. So I'm going to leave it on the counter, and I will see you in 24 hours so we can see if the water kefir is ready after the first stage. And the water that remains after the straining, you can either include in your batch or you can drink it. There is no need to throw it away. No waste in this kitchen. And we are back 3 days later. And before I move on, I just want to mention something that I forgot at the end of the first segment, and something I think it may be important, especially for those of you who are making this water kefir for the first time and you really don't know what to expect too much during the process. So when you mix your solution of water and sugar, and then you add your rehydrated grains, please have a little taste and also smell the solution. This way you will have some kind of reference later on during the process. You will know how sweet it is, you will know how it smells. So later when you come back, let's say 24 hours later, 36 hours later, of course it's all estimate time, rough time, then you know, you can observe how this is changing. So I am here 3 days later, and I didn't film the first and second day because really nothing was happening. So what I would just do roughly after 24 hours, I would just go to my jar and I would smell it and taste a little bit. And I noticed that the first day nothing happened, the second day nothing really happened. So today we are on the third day, and I mentioned before it's about 24-48 hours, but it all depends on the temperature in your house, and it's been a little quite chilly here. Also, those grains are on their first batch, so they are performing for the first time, so we have to give them a little time, and we have to be a little patient. As you as you make the following batches, the grains will become stronger and stronger. You will have a little more of them, so then the process of course may be a little faster. And as I said, the outside temperature, it's a key factor in the process too. So let's taste it now. I have my spoon. And another thing, you may read somewhere that you're not supposed to use any metal spoons or any utensils, nothing metal. Well, I have to be honest with you, sometimes I use wooden spoon, sometimes I use metal spoon. My ladle for pouring this into bottles, it's metal. So I wasn't really very strict in this regard, and I used the same when I prepare my kombucha and other things, and I was always successful. So I personally, I was not affected negatively by using metal, but I'm leaving this completely up to you. Yes, definitely. The flavor changed. It has a little zing to it. It's still sweet, so I could leave it for another day probably, just to get rid of the sweetness if I want to, and to have a little bit more fermentation. Or I can process it right now. As you will make your water kefir, you will learn what works for you, and you will just come up with your own recipes and stuff. This is really fun process. So I'm going to go ahead and move to the next step, which is a flavoring. And now, if you are happy with the flavor, right, and you don't want to add anything to it, you can just put it in a bottle and put it in your refrigerator, and you have very lightly tasting water kefir. However, if you would like to be more adventurous, if you would want to have it more tasting like soda, for example, then we can play with flavors. And for people who are used to drinking a lot of soda, really the switch might be difficult. So if you will create the flavor profile close enough to what you are used to, the transformation will be much easier. Also, when we add our flavors, we're going to leave this liquid in a bottle for another day or two in order to create more carbonation. So it's going to be more fizzy and more soda-like. So what I'm going to now, I got myself a few bottles, and I just want to show you, because what is important, since we will be creating more carbonation for the second fermentation, there will be pressure building up here in a bottle. So it is important to have the right bottles, and the ones with this swing top, I think that's how you call it, kind of like this, that you can pop like that. This is what we should use for this process. And it's also important to have a bottle that is good quality and a little thicker glass, that there is no cracks in it, nothing like that, because as the pressure builds up, there may be a risk of the bottle to explode, and that's something that we of course don't want. So here I have a few examples. So this is my one bottle. I think this one is from IKEA, but I was successful before with finding these bottles like that at some second-hand stores or flea markets. You may even ask friends around, and who knows, maybe someone has some in a basement or in the attic. Here is another kind. This one is from beer. I don't even know if they sell beer in bottles like this. Maybe everything is going towards cans. But again, those bottles I found in my local second-hand store. So those are perfect. We know that they've been used for carbonated beverage. And I have another one. This one, I don't remember when I got one. I'm just showing you different kinds. Here I have bottle like that. It's with my kombucha, leftovers of kombucha. So I think the best would be something like those two. We know that we started in this case with 2 liters, 8 cups of liquid, so we have to make sure we have enough bottles, because we don't want to fill the bottles to the very top to allow some head space for the fermentation and for the bubbles. So what I'm going to do now, I'm adding flavors. My first is going to be ginger. I love ginger. We're gonna make kind of like a good ginger ale, and I like a lot of ginger. So the opening is not very big, so I'm going to slice my ginger thinly and then make it into some kind of matchsticks. This way is going to be much easier for me to remove them later from the bottle after everything is done and I need to wash the bottle. So here we go, our ginger sticks. Add as much as little as you like, and again, when you will continue with making your water kefir, you will quickly learn what tastes best for you. And I always encourage everyone to experiment a little bit. I love ginger with lemon and with thyme, or with lemon balm, or with mint. Those are really my favorite flavors. Today I don't have any of those herbs that I just mentioned, but I have lemon, so I'm going to just cut to shave actually the zest, making sure that the slice is very thin, so we don't have much of the white part. If you decide to use the zest instead of juice, for example, please make sure that the lemon is organic, because we don't want to have any of the chemicals they spray on it or waxes. You know, this all will go later into our body, so let's make sure that we have the best possible quality. And what I have today, I'm going to be a little adventurous. I never tried it before for water kefir. I have a little bit of fresh tarragon. Tarragon is a little licoricey, so I think, you know, this may work very well. So I'm going just to crush it a little with my hands, to bruise it, to allow the flavors come out much easier. And here we go in the bottle. Okay, so our first base is ready. I'm going to prepare the other one, and then we can start pouring. The second, I'm going to use fresh mango. I'm going to use this bottle. I think this one is a little more than 1 liter, so it should be perfect for the amount I have. So I have fresh mango, and this is very ripened mango, very juicy, very sweet, and very aromatic. What I like about this bottle too, the opening is much wider, so it's easier to wash later. I'm going just to score a little my mango, and the smaller pieces, the more flavor they will release. You could also use puree. However, with puree, I would be a little bit careful. If you use frozen and it's puree only, that's good. But if you would use something that comes from a can, please read the ingredients and make sure that there is mango puree only, because if there is a lot of additives and preservatives, this will really affect the quality of our water kefir, because this is a living thing. We're making this in order to support the good bacteria in our gut. And what preservatives do? They are to kill all the bacteria, the good and the bad ones. So of course they will kill our good bacteria too. Therefore we will end up with just sugary drink that has absolutely no health benefits. So now I'm going to use my funnel. It's going to be a little easier for me to throw it into the bottle. And I'm making, I'm making this very detailed, this video, because it's, if you've made it before and you know what you're doing, you don't need to watch this video. But I want to make it clear for anybody who never tried making water kefir before, and after this video I want you to feel very comfortable and very confident that you can make it easily and enjoy it within few days. So I think that will be enough. I'm really not going for very strong flavor profile. I just want to have a little hint. All right, so I'm ready to bottle the liquid right now, and this time I'm going to use a funnel and also my strainer, just in case if the grains will get on my spoon. And you could just pour it like that. I don't feel very comfortable doing this because I don't want to spill it around. So I'm going just to do that. Pour it one at a time. You know, preparing your own food, your own drinks, it's such a meditative process, and the energy that you put into it, it will affect your food, and later it will affect your health. So let's have a good energy about it. Let's not rush and let's enjoy it. Okay, so this bottle is ready, and as I mentioned before, I left a little space here for the carbonation, and I'm going to close it and put aside. And now I'm ready to work on the second bottle. And our second bottle is done. So in order to get a little more bubbles, because this is quite flat right now, we're going to leave it for the second fermentation, which usually takes about 1 or 2 days. What is very important, after the first 24 hours, we need to burp the bottle. I think that's how you call it. So what we mean by that, we will open it and just release some of the pressure, and then we're going to close it, and we will repeat the same after another 24 hours. Kochani, so just quick update. It's been 1 full day, roughly about 24 hours since we set our water kefir for second fermentation, and let's do some burping. Okay, so there is definitely some pressure building here, so something good is happening. You got scared. Okay, I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting this kind of big noise happening here. So I'm gonna close it back, and I'm going. Smells very nice too. And I'm going to leave it for another 24 hours, just for the flavor to intensify a little more, and for the carbonation to build up even more. Second full day of the second fermentation. Here we go. Let's check what's going on. And I see, comparing to yesterday, we have so much more bubbles at the very top, which means that we have really nice carbonation going on. Okay, let's burp our bottle. Now I'm prepared, so I'm not gonna be that scared, hopefully. All right. Ooh. Okay, so now you can see what's going on here. Definitely we have nice fizziness happening, and I'm going to do the same to the other bottle. Oh, this one wasn't that strong, but also I hope you can see all the bubbles coming up. Did you hear that? Okay, so I'm going to see if the flavor is strong enough for me. Okay, I'm just going to stir it a little. Not that easy, but it doesn't bother me if the fruit goes in my glass. Smells very good. Perfect. Perfect sweetness, perfect flavor. This one definitely goes to the fridge now. I don't want it to ferment anymore. Let's check the other one. Just a little bit. So here we have tarragon and ginger. Oh, smells so refreshing. I love both, but this one definitely is my favorite. The lemon zest, ginger, and the tarragon. Kochani, thank you for watching and thank you for giving me your time. I hope this video was very helpful for you, and now you have another probiotic rich drink that you can add to your everyday diet. And here, going on into summer, we will be drinking more. So instead of drinking sodas that are loaded with sugars, chemicals, artificial flavors, oh my gosh, I don't even know what else is there, maybe it's worth it to give try to this water kefir. And as I mentioned before, you can flavor it however you want. You can add more sugar in order to help with the transition, but definitely your immune system will thank you for that. So this is all for today. Please like or comment and share this video with someone who may find it helpful. And I thank you so much for being here, and cheers to your health.